Pandas. Good evening, my pandas. Hey, first time doing a Sunday night session. Glad that you guys can join us. Today we are doing a nice little stream here. And yeah, I'm gonna pilot what's gonna happen tonight. Glad that you guys can join us. Probably not a lot of people will join because only pandas will join. So not only are you cutting the amount of people joining, or the amount of people that can see the stream, but you also will reduce the amount of people who can actually enter. So super short notice, but got 3 pandas here, and glad that you guys can join. But today, I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. We are doing a night session here, and as you can see, we just gapped up right away, right to the top of the trading range, and there's nothing you can do about this. Typically when this happens though, it's going to be a strong uptrend, in my opinion. Typically when you gap up like that, it's going to be a strong uptrend. 10,000 tick chart. But now we have a gap here, but usually when we have a big gap like this, typically what happens, it just goes up. But good evening, pandas. We got 3 pandas here. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Gonna pilot what might happen on Monday, and what I'm thinking is gonna start the session with just you know, showing my account balance, letting you guys know what's up. And hopefully we can get a trade in this night session, but we'll see. We'll see what the market gives us. Not sure how much volume we're going to get. It is the first trading day of the year. And yesterday's high is right here, as you can see. And that means we would actually we'll make our first entry here to go long. Let's see if that gives us a setup. But yeah, we gapped up right to top of the trading range on a 2,000 tick chart. We shall see. Kellyanne, Joey, you got 4 pandas here. Gonna fill in that gap. Which gap, Kellyanne? Are you talking about the gap like up here, or this gap that just created with this big move up right at the open? The beginning of the year just starts up with this gap, and who knows, man? 2022 might be the first year where we just began with a downtrend. But you know, this looks a little odd to me. It looks like we should get another push up, but we'll see here. Pandas, hope you guys are doing amazing. Hope you guys are doing amazing. I will be opening this stream up in about probably 15 minutes. And I want to see what happens when we switch from members to public. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually probably... actually, for the stream, I'll probably just keep the account balance there. But we shall see. 94 Noel. Good evening, guys. Good evening. I know it's super short notice, but thanks for joining if you guys are joining. We pushed up super strong, and we almost broke Friday's high. But we're hitting the top of the trading range right now. And we can come back right back to the bottom and just fill this gap. But typically, you have a 2-legged move somewhere here. Typically. How was everyone's weekend? Hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Finally gonna get some content to my pandas here. Just so thankful for your support. I figured you know, finally a good time to yeah, give you guys some perks. Probably gonna mention that also in the perk list. Kellyanne says account balance is looking healthy. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm up 11K. I realized at the end of my stream on Friday, the capture of the Rhythmic software was actually minimized. And if it's minimized, the capture freezes. And so it didn't update while I was like in my trades. But yeah, end of the day, like 1,000 maybe. End of the day. Up 11K on this account. And yeah, and I think starting from Monday, only the pandas will get access to how my account's doing, and also pre-market analysis, like what I think is gonna happen a little more in depth, and actually the previous trades I took. And so let's see here, what trades did I take here? And the reason kind of like why I don't really just open this up to everybody is because there's like a lot of, you know, people with malintent. And but I know that if you guys are pandas, then you guys are supporting the stream here. So these are my trades I took on the Friday session. And took a bunch here, and these are my trade markers. I took this trade, and I think I skunked it. I'm not sure. What time was this? 12:37. I probably skunked this trade looking at it. It's kind of confusing. Honestly, even with the markers, like when I look at it, I'm like, I don't remember these trades. But I'll give you guys like some time to look at the markers, my trades, things like that that I took in the day before, and we can go over them. And also the reason is when I trade off stream, I do like other things, like I scale in and I swing trade. I mainly stick to two-legged pullbacks and traps, but it's just a lot to explain to everybody. But if I had like some focused time with you guys, then I can like go over these trades with you, and I'm glad to talk about all my trades here, and yeah, any of my mistakes. So some of the perks you get as a panda. Yeah, Bernadette, I think I'm going to do a countdown starting on Monday on when my withdrawal will come. And basically, I will get it on February 1st. And so I'm going to have a countdown on the stream every day. And yeah, we're going to see. And I'll probably show you guys the withdrawal statement, just probably the first one, so people can get confidence and they can do it through me instead of risking their own money. And so I'm already risking it, so I can pull out some money and hopefully show you guys. But maybe I'll show that to the pandas, but I'll probably show it to everyone first. Yeah, just because, so people can know, like, hey, you know, people are actually being able to withdraw money. 94 Knowles asks, rookie question, are the gap up down common in the opening session? This is not common at all. This is actually very uncommon, and when this does happen, typically it means it's a strong uptrend. Typically it does. If it's a big gap like this, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we're in an uptrend for the rest of the day. Rest of, like, in the overnight session, if we just literally go up, we might come back, test it, and break below by like one tick, and just test it and then reverse. But typically when you gap up like this is not common. I mean, when it does happen, it usually means it's just very strong bullish pressure. I mean, think about it. You have people coming in, you know, with bullish intent. Like, we see their intent, and it's very bullish, right? They're not even, you know, they're starting the bid, you know, way up here, like 4 or 5 points up. And this is a pretty big gap, to be honest, especially on the futures, because futures are, you know, there's very little period where it's closed, right? It's only closed basically for like one full day, you know, not even 2 full days, and basically closed like maybe 2 full days. I guess closes at 5 on Friday and reopens at 6. So, you know, 49 hours is closed, and that's it. Whereas like the stock market doesn't open till Monday, which is more than, you know. But yeah, this is not common at all. And so with you guys, I probably will actually have like a screen, and we'll just go over my counts, things like that, and kind of what I'm doing with Apex. And I'll tell you guys my strategies and what I'm thinking in terms of like the future. And I kind of have like a, you know, I feel a little more comfortable sharing these things with you guys, since you guys are obviously, you know, strong supporters of me, you know, so do appreciate that. We have an inside bar here though, right? Gaps up, inside bar, big, so no follow through. Big gap up, no follow through, and inside bar, the next bar. This next bar, we're trying to figure out what's happening here. I probably go long on a 2-legged pullback if I see one, but in this session, I probably won't see one. We probably won't see one. It's because like the volume's usually very low on Sunday night, but Who knows? Maybe other people are trading with us. We do have something interesting here on a 10,000 tick chart. We do have a two-legged pullback. A, B, C on 10,000 tick chart. This is a two-legged pullback that if it does trigger, we could fill the gap. But yeah, the only thing that's stopping me thinking that this is a really strong bull trend is basically we gapped up right to the top of the trading range. And we got stopped out right here, but we'll see if there's follow through. I need to see follow through here. It's hard for me to say we're going to be on a strong uptrend. But yeah, pandas, I do appreciate all your support and you guys joining the stream. And before I switch over to public, I'm going to turn off all my markers. And I'm actually going to get I'm going to see if I can get rid of that capture and see what happens. Yeah, probably what I'll have to do is just do that. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, that's good. All right. Hope you guys are doing amazing. By the way, the Apex coupon code it's gonna end, I think, Wednesday. So if you guys haven't taken advantage of it yet, hopefully you guys can, if you guys are interested in that. But pandas, hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Yeah, Bernard, I'm definitely gonna do a special where I'm gonna do a countdown to my withdrawal, my first withdrawal, and hopefully I can get the account. So like with the $300,000 account, you can pull out I think $3,500. But I definitely don't want to pull out $3,500 for my first withdrawal if it's not like I would want more than 3,500 on top of the trailing threshold. So I actually would want at least 11K. I'm already there. But going to it would be nice if I could be up like 10,000 above the trailing threshold. So I'd like to be above like 1,700. I like to have $17,500 in the account to have a $10,000 buffer, and so the trailing stop loss basically will be completely just completely what is it? A non-issue, trivial. Yeah, the 250K accounts are a good deal, I think. Probably one of the better deals. Like if you're thinking you'll never trade 37 contracts in one account, you do not need a $300,000 account. And the 250K is a little easier to pass than the 300K. They're both kind of difficult, but the $300,000 one is definitely the most difficult. And I can give you guys some tips on how I got my $300,000 accounts, and I'll let you guys know on Monday. So I'm curious what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna switch this stream over to public in about 1 minute, and I'm gonna see when people watch it, how does that look like? When people rewind it, are they gonna just be able to see, are they gonna be able to see it like the previous stuff? And so I want to make sure that what we're doing here makes sense. And so I'm going to at 6:15 put this in public and see what happens. Yeah, how much what's the max accounts for the 250K? I want to be able to trade at least 20 accounts. Like max, I think I'll go 20 accounts on one account. All right, pandas, we're gonna switch to public here, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm very curious. Now we're switching this to public. Does that mean everything before it will pandas be able to like will regular members be able to rewind and watch So now this is a public stream, and I'm curious now what happens if you are not a panda and you watch it and rewind. What happens? Does that mean everything before? It looks like if you just rewind it, you can see everything that is streamed before switching over to public. Now that is curious to know, because if that's the case, then it's gonna have to be a completely different stream we will have to run and start a new stream at the time where yeah. So that's good to know. If you switch over, it's not like it somehow converts it. So basically, if you switch the stream to a public during, like while it's members, they're gonna have access to the previous information. Yeah, thanks Brandon Jones for testing that. I do appreciate that. I just tested myself. Brandon Jones says, 10 contracts with 10 points a day is $1 million a year. Absolutely incredible. So those who are just joining, yeah, I'm doing a pilot today, just seeing how things are when you do stream. So what I will have to do is do a members and then switch over to the new stream and end the members only stream. And for the members only stream, yeah, so for the publicly members only, I see. Okay, I see how I have to do it now, but that makes a lot of sense to me. It's gonna have to be 2 separate streams, so it's good to know. But we'll finish the session up. I mean, I'm only gonna stream for maybe about 20 more minutes here, and probably won't even get a trade. It's very slow right now. As you can see, we're printing about 3 inside bars, or outside inside. OII pattern means that it's in breakout mode, and so, but like I mentioned, pandas, when you see a big gap like this, typically, you know, you just keep going up, keep going up. So let's do this. And I'm gonna do something here that might break this, but let's go back. Let's see here. It's gonna be hard to find these, but I want to go back. Actually, can we see in the daily? I guess the daily we can technically see gaps, but so this is a gap from here to here. The close here, open here, close here, open here. That means that was a gap right here. Close here, open here. Actually, the daily is not good to use for gaps because you don't know the true end of the day. See, it should, right? The gap should be here. I have to do it like this. So let's see in the previous like couple gaps what has happened, and we're gonna look pretty far back. Let's say we'll go back 90 days, and it's gonna load up a bit, and we're gonna go back and do some analysis. See in the last 90 days when we had a gap at the open, what happened after that? Brandon Jones says, happy trading all. I hate trading overnight, so I'm gonna bounce. Do appreciate you joining though. Harry Core, happy new year. Yes, happy new year everyone. Happy new year. Glad to be able to start this year early with you guys. But yeah, this is a pilot to see what happens. Now that I know, let's get rid of this. Drawing tools. Huh. So maybe I can do this. And I can just put at the close. Actually, we'll get rid of this and just do the open and close. And let's see. Yesterday's open. I see. So it's not. So what I need to see is close and the open. Open's right here. Why is it up here? It's weird. Oh, that was day before's close. Open. We have open here and the close here. That's what I want to see. I want to see a connected line. So close here and open here. It's like a small little gap. So the day before's close was right here. And the day's open was... So the close right here and the day's open was right here. And so there's a little teeny... So I need to see where there's a big gap between this red line and this blue line. Does that make sense? So I need to figure out where these lines are disconnected, right? These lines are connected pretty much. This is a small gap here. This is 10,000 tick chart, so we can go through a lot more days. We need to find where the blue line and the red line are not connected, right? So they're connected here, not much of a gap. Connected here, not much of a gap. Does that make sense, pandas? Connected here, not much of a gap. There's a small gap here. Actually kind of gaps down. The last time it gapped down about 5 points, right? You see this big gap, 5 points. The rest of the day, it shot down. We had a downtrend day. We had about 5-point gap from the open, from the close to the open. That gap fills real quick and bounces off. We have an even bigger gap than this right now. But right now there's a gap here, and then when that happened, we had the continued downtrend, right? It went the direction of the gap. This is barely any gap here. We're looking for like a significant gap here. Barely any gap here. Barely any gap here. Barely any gap. Again, barely any gap, barely any gap. Wow, this day. What day was this? This is like almost no trading. No gap. Big gap here. Okay. So when this closed and we opened up here, we filled the gap, but we went the direction of the gap. So we had to close here and it opened here, right? Close here, opened here. Eventually ends up going the direction of the gap. But it does fill the gap in the overnight session sooner or later. So we had another gap that went in the direction of the gap. A small gap here. I'm not sure that's big enough, but basically we had a gap here that closed here, opens up here, fills the gap, and then bounces off of it. So again, what goes the direction of the gap, right? Hope this makes sense, pandas. And so the reason why we're looking at this is because yesterday, or today, we have a huge gap. And so we're trying to see when there's these big gaps, what happens? Small gap here, big gap here again, gaps up. This time doesn't even fill the gap. It fills the gap way over here, but that takes about, it was the next day or so. But gaps and about 10-point gap and goes the direction of the gap. So far, the last 3 gaps we saw all went the direction of the gap. So that's why I'm thinking, because of that gap, we're going to have an uptrend day today, overnight, or tomorrow. We might fill the gap overnight, but I'm thinking the direction will be up because we had a gap up. I'm just looking at the gaps. No more gaps, really. Not for a long time, right? These are almost right when it closes, it opens on the exact same spot. Just look at one more gap here if we can find it. What happened here? Okay, it ended the day. So the last couple gaps that we saw, it all went in the direction of the gap. So either it might fill the gap and then go the same direction, right? Go back up to the gap, but we shall see. Hope that small analysis made sense to you guys. So I'm thinking overnight session might have a strong uptrend, but for now we could fill the gap still. This is a pretty big gap, right? We're talking about from 47.61 to 47.71. It's about 5-point gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're talking about 9-point gap. 6, yeah, 9, 5-point gap. 9-point gap. Almost a 10-point gap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9.5-point gap. Pushing up here. Again, we can create a two-legged pullback on the 10K chart. It's hitting the top of their trading range, and it might come fill the gap. It might do something like this. Two-legged move, fill the gap, and then resume the direction of the gap. That might happen. Yep, Sunday night special. I'm also piloting what happens with members only, and I'm trying to see what's gonna happen. Cause Monday, starting from Monday, we're gonna do members only in the pre-market, and then going to switch over to public. So thanks for joining, guys. I mean, we're doing small analysis here, but most likely not get a setup. I probably won't enter a trade tonight. I mean, cause I don't know if we fill the gap or not. It looks like we're gonna fill the gap because we're getting a little choppy here. But yeah, pandas, hope you guys are doing amazing. Got some big things going on though. Got some big things going on. Some projects. Gonna change up some stuff. 2022. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for joining the stream. And yeah, it's gonna be Year of the Panda. 2022, Year of the Panda. Let's go, baby. I hope I can reach 10K subscribers this year. That'd be amazing. I stream for less than, I mean, my channel's about 2 years old, I think. About 7,000. Yeah. Kind of big push up, big push down. No follow through really right now. But we do come and we gap up right to the top of the trading range. We'll see what happens here. When I look at this, this looks like a two-legged pullback, A, B, C, right on a higher time frame. If we switch over to 10,000 tick chart, that is the same thing, A, B, C. So this, you know, optically we can see this two-legged pullback, you know, one push up, little consolidation, another push up, right? On the higher time frame, it's simply a two-legged pullback, A, B, C. So that's typically what we want to see. We want to see in the higher time frame a two-legged pullback. In the lower time frame, we want to enter in with a setup, two-legged pullback as well. Corsi Zakaria says, I'm playing League. It's midnight where I live. Ooh, 6 hours. What does that mean? 6 hours? Somewhere in Canada or Europe or something? Corsi Zakaria. Is it Africa? Jonathan Hotspot. Yeah, if you're going to open your Apex account, this is the week to do it. The coupon ends on January 5th, so it's a good time to do it if you're going to do it. What pandas, my pandas? Got no setups here, just watching. On the daily, starting from the new year, the first day, trading day of the new year. Are we gonna have a super strong bull cycle again? I mean, when you looked over this year, boy, oh boy. This is this year, basically. If you just bought one contract right at the beginning of the year and just held it for an entire year, one contract, you would have made 3,650, about 100 points. How much money is that, one contract? You would have made $85,000 if you just bought one contract and held it for the whole year. $8,500 on one trade. Let's go, baby. 8,500. Core seas occur, yeah, Northern Africa. That makes sense. Got nothing here, but yeah. Panas just wanted to pilot what's going to happen here. Not much happening, and if anything, most likely we'll fill the gap sometime in the overnight session, and then tomorrow might have a strong bull trend. And I'm only saying that because I just looked at the last past like 5 or 6 gaps, and we went in the direction of a big gap, right? When I say a big gap, I mean like 5 or more points. Like we had like little like 1 point, 2 point gaps, but they got filled immediately. Leonardo Chica says, question, I'm starting work at Amazon. Congrats, man. Congrats to Leonardo here. Just for some income, or just for income to start trading. So here's, whoa, I see. So you're already set to become a full-time trader. That is the mindset you need to have if you want to become full-time. But should you start forex or S&P first? If you do forex, you can start with smaller accounts. I believe like the margins for forex are much smaller. But yeah, I tried forex, and since I'm a scalper, I could not do it. The spreads are too bad, are so bad in forex that I could not trade forex with scalping. You have to learn how to swing trade if you're gonna do forex. So now, if you do S&P, if you do futures like we're doing now, you need to do, in my opinion, trade sim, and then once you get comfortable with sim, as in like really comfortable, like you can easily double account in sim by sticking to the rules, then you can trade micros, which with micros the margins are not so large. And when you start trading micros, the thing about micros is that it's difficult because the percentage to commissions to the profits you make is larger, right? It's worse than the percentage for the minis, and that makes it technically harder to be profitable with micros. But the thing is, you trade micros because you have less exposure. You have 1/10 of the exposure, and so whereas where you would lose $50 on every point, you would lose only $5 on every point on the micros, even though you pay more for commissions. But still, I believe one tick, you make more money on one tick on the micros than you would pay in commissions. And so at the end, even one tick, as long as your probabilities, like your success rate, your win rate is good, then you will still be profitable. And that's what I recommend you practice with micros, because you want to prove yourself to be profitable before putting in the big money. And then I choose micros because you kind of have that feel of real money, but the less exposure. And the thing is, you can do overlay. You can do an overlay of the ES on top of the micros, and so you have the ES chart, because especially if you trade tick charts, since the micros are a completely different instrument than ES, they actually have their own volume, their own trading, and so the tick charts are completely different. So if you want the price action of the tick chart on top of trade, you want to trade MES, you have to do an overlay, and there is a video on my channel that will help you do that. And so you can just search up overlay, and teaches how to put the ES overlay over the MES. I don't trade supply and demand, but from what I understand, you should be able to trade. I believe it has to do with volume, so. Icky in the house. My pandas. Gonna end the stream about, I'll stay at 10 more minutes with you guys, and then I'll get off. But today is just piloting, seeing how things are, saying Happy New Year to my pandas here. James Edwards Marque, I don't know how to say that, but This distinction between commissions from micros versus commissions and minis proves to me that you know your stuff. Well, I'm glad you think so. Do appreciate it. Brian Davila, let's go, baby. Brian Davila is always trying to get me to drink. João Henriquez. Tick first time, main difference. Silly, but the main difference is tick versus time. That is the difference. Tick versus time. That is that. The question itself has the answer. Jonathan Hospital, if you want to trade supply and demand, go to the supermarket. I'm actually fascinated by supply and demand. I think mostly because of the inflation that I think we're going to, and so, man, I'm just saying, man, like, do I have a gold chart here? I'd like to see a gold chart. I don't even know. I don't know what these other things are. Do we have a gold chart? Is there a gold chart on forex? DAX. Is there a gold chart? I've never even looked at a gold chart on this thing. Cryptocurrency. Let's look at cryptocurrency. Nah, let's just stay here. But if you guys have looked at a chart in gold, man, I'm just saying, you know, I don't trust the governments at all. And that's the nice thing about Bitcoin, is that it's separated from the government. I mean, that's what you would assume. That's what you would assume. I would be surprised if the government have their hand already in crypto. And I guess you could say the same thing about gold, but that's why I like to have gold, where, you know, you can actually hold something in your hand and actually have an asset. But yeah, you know, I definitely have gold. That's because I want to hedge whatever happens, man. When I look at the market, I'm just saying, man, this economy, it does not reflect the economy. In fact, it reflects an inflated economy. If anything, the S&P 500 just is proof to me that we are in inflation. That is wild. That is insane to me. When you throw that much money, and when you can feel the inflation, you know, from Wall Street to Main Street, in my opinion, it's just inflation at the end. The main inflationary hedge is gold. So, do they have vaccines for pandas? I believe they do. I believe they do. Jerka asks, what was your biggest drawdown and what do you suggest to avoid these losers or these losses? The biggest drawdown, like, in my entire life? Yeah, big, very big, let's just say. But with this Apex account, my biggest drawdown probably so far has been about $5,000 on this account. Pretty big drawdown. What do you do to avoid those? You can set a couple rules. You can set rules for if you lose a certain amount of money in a day, you just stop. In my opinion, when I look back at that, I was extremely stubborn in terms of reading the price action wrong and just kept. I wasn't open. My mind wasn't opened to say maybe I'm just wrong and I should just trade the opposite of what I'm thinking right now because of my premise being wrong in the first place. And for some reason, I just, in those days where you lose bad, you do silly things. You do a lot of counter trend trading, and you do a lot of things that you shouldn't do. And it's just like you have this weird mental block. Like, it's basically when you go on tilt, You just have this weird mental block that you cannot break out of, and you kind of get dazed, and before you know it, you're like, oh, geez, here we go again. Blew my account. So, how do you prevent that? Well, one thing is realize when you go on tilt, and make a couple rules for yourself that you cannot break no matter what, and that requires extreme discipline because you're keeping yourself accountable, and that is probably one of the hardest things to do because we all lie to ourselves. We all lie to ourselves, believe it or not. The heart is deceitful above all things, and so we are our number one liars. How do you prevent yourself from blowing big accounts? Well, one thing is, some of us can't. We just have to learn the hard way, and until we just get enough pain and realize, man, I really just never want to do that again, then yeah, that's one way. I think just a couple rules that you can have. Max stop loss no matter what on any trade. Never go a certain number of trades on any amount. Like no matter what, you never go above like 10 contracts or something. That could be a rule you set yourself. Ultimately, it is a thing about being able to read price action accurately and as accurate as possible. Jonathan Hospital asks, are you a trend trader or reversal trader? That's a good question. It seems like a silly question because the first thing you'll say is, why not both? Why can't you be both a trend trader and a reversal trader? It actually has to do with our personalities. Some of us are kind of disposed, has a disposition to do one or the other. You just feel better when you trade with trend. Some people feel better when they do reversals, and I think it has to do with personality. But we are naturally inclined to do one or the other. And as you get better, though, you start to recognize market cycle quicker. But it just really depends on how well I read the market cycle. Sometimes I'm really stubborn, and I will try to trade with, counter trend, trying to do reversals, even though I know it's a strong trend day today. Like a strong trend day at a certain day, but who knows. I typically find myself trading better actually maybe in trading range days. I think, yeah, trading range days, because I'm usually looking for the reversals. Usually looking for reversals, and the thing about strong trends, that's like one of the marks of a strong trend day. That it shows you a lot of reversal setups, but they fail, and that's kind of how yeah, this is a strong trend day today. Brian Nig says, have you withdrew from Apex yet? I have not. The thing is, once you pass your account, you have to trade 30 or 25 trading days, I believe. Is it 25? I think 25 trading days, and so that's trading days. And so that's more than 1 month, because there's 20 trading days in a month. And so you have to wait more. You have to trade for more than 1 month every single day. And once you do that, you can only request withdrawals on the 20th through 25th. So at the end of the month. And so my first time I'm eligible to withdraw will be the end of this month. And so I'm going to have a countdown for all you guys starting on Monday, every single day until I get my withdrawal. And the countdown will start from basically, I'm assuming I'm going to get my money early February. Let me see the earliest. So yeah, I'm going to think, February 1st, hopefully I'll get my withdrawal, and hopefully by then. Andre B says, I have a question about commissions. People say they can eat into your profits and can blow your account or something, but even if you pay $700 in fees and make $2,700 profit loss, you should be good, right? I mean, I hope you answer your own question. If you're making $2,700 in profit, then 700 fees is fine. You're making $2,000. That's pretty good. Rohan asks, can you use a trade copy or Apex accounts in personal? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Usama Ulfakir. Hey pandas, we missed you. We missed you too, man. All right, pandas. It was good to hang out with you guys. Yeah, I'm glad you guys can join. But starting on Monday, we'll have a members only stream from 9 to 9:20 a.m. From 9:20 to the regular trading hours, the first hour of regular trading, we'll have it open to everyone. But in the members only time, we will go over my account balance, and we'll go over some things that that we're looking forward to on this channel. I'll be a little more real with my pandas, my members only, and yeah. So that's starting Monday. So I'll see you guys all Monday. Happy trading, everyone. God bless. I'll see you guys early Monday. Bye. Bob Scott has just become a panda. Bob Scott. Do appreciate you becoming a panda. I see you, Bob Scott. Enjoy your green name. Enjoy your Pullback badge. Enjoy access to the members only stream on the pre-market analysis. Do appreciate it. I'll see you Monday. Hey, enjoy your green name. Enjoy your panda emoticons. Pandas, if you're still here, hey, give Bob Scott a nice warm welcome. Scott! All right, bye.